Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship, the TFS Horizon. His hands shook as he read the report on his screen. The numbers made no sense. After 300 years, the lost colony ship Mayflower was sending signals from deep space. Jake rubbed his eyes and read the report again. The Mayflower had left Earth during the Great Exodus, carrying 50,000 colonists to find a new home. Everyone thought the ship was lost forever. No one had heard from them since they jumped into hyperspace 3 centuries ago. "Sir, we're getting more signals," said Lieutenant Tim Baker from his station. "They're coming from the Kepler 442 system. The patterns match old Earth technology, but they're much stronger than anything we use today." Jake walked to the main screen. The Kepler 442 system was far from any known human colonies. It was a place where no one was supposed to live. The system had 7 planets, but the Federation had never sent anyone there. It was too far away and too dangerous. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jake ordered. "Tell them we found something. Impossible." 2 days later, Commander Lisa Rodriguez arrived on a fast ship with a team of scientists. Lisa was the best at studying old human technology. If anyone could figure out what was happening, it would be her. "Show me everything," Lisa said as soon as she stepped onto the bridge. Jake played the recordings for her. The signals were definitely human, but they were using technology that the Federation didn't have. The power readings were off the charts. Whatever was in that system was much more advanced than anything Earth had built. "We need to go there," Lisa said. "This could change everything we know about human expansion." The trip to Kepler 442 took 5 days. As they got closer, the sensors showed more and more impossible things. There were massive structures around every planet. Giant space stations orbited the worlds like metal moons. Energy readings showed technology that was decades ahead of anything the Federation used. "My God," whispered Dr. Amy Foster, the team's physicist. "Those aren't just colonies. They've built a whole civilization out there." The first planet they saw had cities that covered entire continents. The second planet was covered with factories and shipyards. The third planet seemed to be one giant military base. Ships moved between the worlds in perfect formation, their designs unlike anything anyone had seen before. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Baker. "Their sensors are more powerful than ours." Suddenly a voice came over the radio. It spoke perfect English with an accent that sounded like old Earth recordings. "Unknown Federation vessel. This is Captain Ryan Brooks of the New Eden Defense Force. You are entering sovereign human territory. State your purpose." Jake felt his heart race. These people called themselves human, but they had technology that made the Federation look primitive. He activated the radio. "Captain Brooks, this is Admiral Morrison of the Terran Federation. We're here because we detected signals from the lost colony ship Mayflower. Are you descendants of those colonists?" There was a long silence. Then Captain Brooks spoke again. "Admiral Morrison, we are indeed the children of the Mayflower. We have been waiting a long time for contact with Earth. Permission granted to approach New Eden Prime." New Eden Prime was the 4th planet in the system. As they got closer, Jake could see that it wasn't just a colony, it was a fortress world. Weapons platforms floated in orbit. Shield generators created a shimmer around the entire planet. This was a world ready for war. They landed at a spaceport that was bigger than anything on Earth. Captain Brooks met them at the landing pad. He was tall and strong, with gray hair and smart eyes. Behind him stood a dozen soldiers in armor that looked like it could stop anything. "Welcome to New Eden," Brooks said. "We have much to discuss." Over the next few hours, Brooks told them the story of the Mayflower colonists. When they arrived at Kepler 442, they found a perfect system for human life. But they also found something else. Ancient ruins on several planets showed that a powerful alien race had once lived there. The aliens were gone, but they had left behind amazing technology. "We spent 300 years learning from what we found," Brooks explained. "We built our society around one goal, making sure humanity would never be weak again. We knew that someday we would meet other races among the stars. We wanted to be ready. The colonists had turned the entire system into a hidden fortress. They built the most advanced ships in the galaxy. They developed weapons that could destroy entire fleets. They created technology that seemed like magic to the rest of humanity. But now they were ready to rejoin the galaxy. And they had plans. "There's something you need to know," Brooks said. "We've been watching the galaxy for decades. We know about the alien empires. We know about their wars and their territories. And we know about a system that belongs to us." He showed them a star map. The Vega system was highlighted in red. 400 years ago, Earth survey ships cataloged Vega as future human territory, Brooks continued. But 3 alien races control it now. The Zephyrian Collective, the Kralik Empire, and the Nexari Federation have divided our system between them. Jake felt cold. "What are you planning to do about it?" Brooks smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was the smile of a predator. "We're going to take it back," he said, "and we're going to show the galaxy what humans can really do when we stop asking for permission." The meeting ended with a message that would shake the entire galaxy. Brooks sent a transmission to all 3 alien powers in the Vega system. The message was simple and terrifying. "This is New Eden Command. You have 72 hours to withdraw from human space. We are coming to collect what was always ours." The hidden colony had revealed itself, and the galaxy would never be the same. The alien response came faster than anyone expected. Within hours of receiving the New Eden ultimatum, 3 enemy fleets were moving toward the Vega system. Fleet Commander Zektar of the Zephyrian Collective was the first to speak on the emergency channel. "This is an insult to the Collective," Zektar said, his voice full of anger. "Humans think they can threaten us with their primitive ships. We will teach them their place." War Marshal Thurok of the Kralik Empire agreed. His deep voice rumbled through the transmission. "The Empire has controlled Vega for 200 years. No human colony will change that. We will crush them like insects." Supreme Admiral Velnara of the Nexari Federation was more careful with her words. "Perhaps we should study these humans first. They sound confident for such a small force." But the other 2 commanders convinced her to join them. For the first time in galactic history, the 3 powers formed an alliance. Over 2,000 warships moved toward Vega from 3 different directions. It was the largest military force anyone had ever seen. General Marcus Thompson watched the alien movements from his command ship, the Liberty. He was calm as he studied the enemy fleet positions. Around him, his officers worked quietly at their stations. They had trained for this moment their entire lives. "Sir, enemy fleets will reach Vega in 18 hours, reported Colonel Pete Williams. "Their combined force is 10 times larger than ours." Marcus nodded. "Good, let them come together. It will make our job easier." Dr. Patricia Wells was making final checks on the weapon systems. She had spent 30 years perfecting the technology that would change everything. The weapons were based on principles that the rest of the galaxy had never seen before. "All systems are ready, General," she reported. "The gravitational disruptors are charged and waiting. The quantum torpedoes are loaded. The shield matrix is at full power." Marcus activated the fleet communication system. 200 ships received his orders. Each ship was small compared to the alien vessels, but they carried technology that made size meaningless. "This is General Thompson to all New Eden vessels. We are about to show the galaxy what human ingenuity can accomplish. Remember your training. Trust your equipment. Fight for your families back home." The New Eden fleet entered the Vega system just as the alien forces finished forming their battle lines. The sight was overwhelming. Massive alien dreadnoughts floated in perfect formation. Their weapons were already charging, creating a glow that could be seen from space. Captain Tony Martinez commanded the destroyer Swift Arrow. He had been chosen to lead the first attack wave. His ship was barely 1/10 the size of the alien flagships, but he wasn't worried. "All ships begin Phase 1, Marcus ordered from the Liberty." The New Eden vessels seemed to shimmer and then disappeared from alien sensors. The cloaking technology was beyond anything the galaxy had seen. One moment the human fleet was there, the next moment it was gone. "Where did they go?" demanded Fleet Commander Zektar. "Find them now." The aliens fired wildly into empty space. Their sensors could detect nothing. Panic began to spread through their formations as they realized they were fighting an enemy they couldn't see. Then the humans struck. The swift arrow appeared directly behind the Zephyrian flagship and fired a single quantum torpedo. The weapon passed through the alien shields like they didn't exist and struck the ship's main reactor. The massive vessel simply came apart, torn into pieces by forces the aliens didn't understand. Across the battlefield, the same thing happened again and again. Human ships appeared from nowhere, fired weapons that ignored all defenses and vanished before the aliens could respond. In the first 10 minutes, over 50 alien ships were destroyed without the humans taking a single hit. Colonel Susan Davis led the ground assault teams. While the space battle raged above, her soldiers landed on Vega Prime. The planet's capital city was defended by the best Zephyrian troops, but they might as well have been fighting ghosts. Susan's soldiers wore armor that made them nearly invincible. Personal shield generators protected them from energy weapons. Their guns fired concentrated plasma that could cut through tank armor. They moved through the city like unstoppable machines. "This is impossible," said General Crix, the Zephyrian, commander on the planet. "How did humans become so powerful?" His question was answered when Susan's team reached the main government building. They didn't bother with the heavy doors or the security systems. One soldier placed a small device against the wall, and the entire building front simply disappeared, turned to dust by molecular disintegration technology. The space battle lasted only 18 minutes. When it ended, the alien alliance had lost over 300 ships. The survivors retreated to the edge of the system, their commanders in shock at what they had witnessed. War Marshal Thurok was the first to break the stunned silence. "What kind of weapons do they have? Our best ships couldn't even scratch their hulls." Supreme Admiral Velnara studied the battle recordings with growing fear. "Look at how they move through space. They're not just faster than us, they're bending space itself around their ships." Fleet Commander Zektar was already calling for reinforcements. "Send word to all our allies. Tell them we need every ship they have. These humans are not what we expected." But General Thompson wasn't finished. As the alien fleets regrouped at the system's edge, he deployed his most terrifying weapon. Dr. Wells activated the gravitational disruptors from the Liberty. Space itself began to twist around the retreating alien ships. Artificial gravity wells appeared and disappeared, crushing some vessels and flinging others into the system's star. The survivors watched in horror as physics became a weapon in human hands. "This is a message to all alien forces," General Thompson broadcast on all frequencies. "You came here to deny humans their rightful territory. Instead, you have learned what 3 centuries of focused evolution can accomplish. Withdraw from this system now, or face the full might of New Eden." The alien commanders had no choice. Their fleets limped away from Vega, leaving behind hundreds of destroyed ships and thousands of dead. For the first time in galactic history, human forces had defeated a major alien alliance. But this was only the beginning. News of the battle spread across the galaxy within hours. Every major government received the same terrifying message. Humanity was no longer the weak species they had ignored for centuries. The hidden colony had announced itself to the galaxy, in the most dramatic way possible. And now every alien power was wondering the same thing. What else were the humans hiding? The news hit the galactic communication networks like a bomb. Within 6 hours of the Battle of Vega, every major government in the galaxy knew that something impossible had happened. A small human force had destroyed hundreds of ships from 3 powerful empires. Senator Caroline White sat in her office on Earth reading report after report. Her communication system wouldn't stop buzzing. Alien ambassadors from dozens of species were demanding answers. They all wanted to know the same thing. How had humanity become so dangerous? "Senator White, this is Ambassador Thelkor of the Andorian Republic," came one message. "Our intelligence services are reporting impossible human technology at Vega. We demand an immediate explanation." Caroline rubbed her temples. She was getting similar messages from the Draconian Alliance, the Centauri Federation, and at least 20 other governments. The problem was simple. She had no answers to give them. "Get me Admiral Morrison on a secure channel," she told her aide, "and find out everything we can about this New Eden colony." Dr. Kevin Johnson was the Federation's top military expert. He had spent his whole career studying alien weapons and tactics. Now he was watching battle recordings from Vega, and nothing made sense. "Look at this footage," Kevin said to his research team. "The human ships don't just move fast, they seem to be in two places at once, and their weapons ignore every known law of physics." The recordings showed human vessels appearing and disappearing at will. Their weapons passed through the strongest alien shields, like they were made of paper. Some shots seemed to bend space itself, creating gravity wells that crushed enemy ships. "Sir, these aren't just better versions of our technology," said Dr. Rachel Green, his assistant. "These are completely new principles of science. It's like they learned physics from a different universe." Kevin nodded grimly. "Send everything to Earth Command and recommend that we treat New Eden as a completely unknown factor. We may be dealing with technology we can't even understand." Captain Nicole Adams commanded the Federation cruiser Enterprise. She had been ordered to make contact with the New Eden forces still in the Vega system. As her ship approached, she felt nervous in a way she hadn't since her first combat mission. "Captain, we're being scanned," reported her science officer, "but I can't identify the scanning method. It's not using any energy signatures we know about." A new voice came over the radio. It was calm and professional, but there was something about it that made Nicole's skin crawl. "Federation vessel Enterprise, this is Colonel Alex Turner of New Eden Command. You are cleared to approach Vega Prime. Follow the navigation beacon. We're transmitting." The beacon led them to a parking orbit above the planet. What Nicole saw there made her question everything she thought she knew about human technology. The New Eden ships looked almost alive. Their hulls seemed to shift and flow. Energy patterns moved across their surfaces like glowing veins. "My God," whispered her navigator. "Those aren't ships. They're some kind of living machines." Colonel Turner met her in the docking bay of the flagship Liberty. He was younger than she expected, probably in his 40s, with the kind of calm confidence that comes from never losing a fight. "Welcome to the new reality, Captain Adams," Turner said. "I assume you have questions." Nicole had hundreds of questions, but she started with the most important one. "How? How did you develop technology like this in just 300 years? Turner smiled. "We had excellent teachers. The ruins on our worlds contained knowledge from a race that disappeared long before humans reached the stars. We spent centuries learning from what they left behind. But we also had something they didn't have." "What was that?" "Human stubbornness. We refused to accept limits. Every time someone said something was impossible, we found a way to make it work." Turner showed her through the ship. The technology was beyond anything Nicole had imagined. The walls seemed to be alive, responding to touch and thought. The weapons systems used principles that violated everything she had learned about physics. "This changes everything," Nicole said. "The balance of power in the galaxy, the way we think, about technology, everything." "That's the idea," Turner replied. "Humanity has been playing by rules that other species made. We decided to write our own rules instead." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien governments were having emergency meetings. Emperor Thulvok of the Atur Drakmarian Star Empire was the most powerful ruler in known space. His empire had controlled much of the galaxy for over 2,000 years. Now he was calling an emergency session of the Galactic Council. "This human colony represents a threat to galactic stability," Emperor Thulvok announced to the assembled representatives. "Their technology could upset the balance that has kept peace for millennia." The Galactic Council chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of species. For the first time anyone could remember, they all agreed on something. Humanity had become too dangerous to ignore. President Andrew Clark of New Eden addressed the galaxy directly. His message was broadcast on every communication network, reaching billions of beings across thousands of worlds. "People of the galaxy," Clark began, "we are the descendants of Earth colonists who left home 3 centuries ago seeking peace. We found that peace by growing strong. We learned that in this galaxy, respect comes from power, not from asking politely." His voice was calm, but his words sent shivers through every alien government. We have watched from the shadows as our people were treated as second-class citizens. We have seen human colonies attacked and human traders cheated. That ends now. Any species that threatens human interests will discover what 3 centuries of focused development can accomplish. Clark paused, letting his words sink in. We don't seek to conquer anyone. We don't want to rule the galaxy. We simply demand the respect that our capabilities have earned. Human space is now protected by New Eden technology. Test that protection at your own risk. The message ended with star charts showing dozens of systems that New Eden now claimed as human territory. Many of these systems were currently occupied by alien colonies or military bases. Senator White finally got her secure communication with Admiral Morrison. His face on the screen looked tired and worried. Caroline, we're dealing with something completely outside our experience, Morrison said. These New Eden people have technology that makes our best ships look like toys, and they're planning to expand human territory whether we help them or not. What do you recommend? Caroline asked. We need to work with them. They're still human, even if they've become something we don't understand. Because if we don't work with them, we might end up on the wrong side of a war we can't win. Across the galaxy, the same conversation was happening in alien government buildings. Military advisors were telling their leaders that conventional warfare against New Eden technology was hopeless. Diplomats were scrambling to find ways to negotiate, with humans who didn't seem interested in negotiating. The galaxy had been built on the assumption that no single species could become too powerful. Checks and balances kept any one government from dominating the others. New Eden had just shattered that assumption. In one day, humanity had gone from being a minor player in galactic politics to being the most feared species in known space. And this was just the beginning of what New Eden planned to accomplish. The hidden colony had revealed itself to the galaxy. Now everyone was wondering what other secrets humanity might be hiding in the darkness between the stars. The response from the galaxy was swift and overwhelming. Emperor Thulvok of the Drakmarian Star Empire sent out a call that hadn't been used in over 1,000 years. It was a call for total war against a threat to galactic civilization. Fleet. Admiral Kexishaw stood before the largest gathering of military leaders in galactic history. Representatives from 17 major species filled the war room on the Drakmarian capital world. The massive holographic display showed their combined fleets moving toward a single target, finding and destroying New Eden. The humans have revealed technology that threatens the natural order, Admiral Kexishaw announced. We must find their hidden worlds and eliminate this threat before it spreads to other human colonies. The numbers were staggering. Over 10,000 warships from dozens of species formed the largest military force ever assembled. Dreadnoughts the size of cities moved alongside carrier fleets that could block out the light of stars. The combined firepower could turn entire worlds to dust. Commander Danny Roberts watched the alien movements from his hidden base in the asteroid belt. New Eden's intelligence network had been preparing for this moment for generations. His agents had been planted throughout alien governments long before the Battle of Vega. Sir, we have complete intelligence on their battle plans, reported Lieutenant Beth Morris. They're dividing into search groups to scan every system within 50 light-years of known human space. Danny nodded. This was exactly what New Eden had expected. The aliens would use their numbers to search for the hidden colony, but they didn't understand that they were walking into a trap. Activate Phase 3, Danny ordered. It's time to show them what happens when you hunt humans. Captain Ashley Turner commanded the stealth destroyer Phantom. Her ship was invisible to every sensor system the galaxy had ever developed. She watched from the shadows as the alien fleet divided into search groups, each one larger than most governments' entire space forces. Target the supply ships first, Ashley told her crew. Without fuel and ammunition, even the biggest dreadnought becomes helpless. The Phantom struck like lightning. One moment, the alien supply convoy was moving peacefully through hyperspace. The next moment, their lead ship simply disappeared in a flash of twisted space-time. The other ships in the convoy never even saw what hit them. Across the galaxy, the same thing happened again and again. Alien supply lines began disappearing. Scout ships vanished without sending distress signals. Entire patrol fleets went silent. leaving nothing but empty space where they had been. General Vraktor of the Hegemony Alliance commanded one of the largest search groups. His fleet included 500 ships, enough firepower to conquer most star systems. But after 2 weeks of searching, he had lost 60 ships without ever seeing the enemy. "This is impossible," Vraktor told his staff officers. "How can humans be everywhere and nowhere at the same time?" His question was answered when the Phantom appeared directly above his flagship. The human ship was tiny compared to his massive dreadnought, but size meant nothing when the enemy could bend the laws of physics. "Unknown human vessel, surrender immediately," Vraktor broadcast. "You are outnumbered 500 to 1. Ashley's response came in the form of a quantum torpedo that passed through his shields and tore his main weapon systems apart. Before he could return fire, the Phantom had vanished again. "Message received," came Ashley's voice over the radio. "Next time, we won't be so gentle." The hunt continued for 3 months. The alien armada searched every system, scanned every planet, and followed every possible lead. But they found nothing except more evidence of human superiority. Ships continued to vanish. Supply lines kept getting cut. Morale began to collapse as crews realized they were fighting an enemy they couldn't see or understand. Major Chris Evans was preparing the ultimate surprise. While the aliens wasted time searching empty space, he was coordinating the defenses of New Eden itself. Because New Eden's location wasn't really a secret. It was bait. "Sir, long-range sensors show the main alien fleet has found us," reported Sergeant Linda Clark. "They're moving toward our system with everything they have left." Chris smiled. After months of hit-and-run attacks, the aliens finally thought they had found their target. What they had actually found was a fortress system that had been preparing for war for 3 centuries. "All defensive platforms, prepare for engagement," Chris ordered. "Show them what a real fortress looks like." The alien armada dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. What they saw there defied everything they thought they knew about space warfare. Every moon had been turned into a weapons platform. The asteroid belt swarmed with hidden gun emplacements. The space around each planet writhed with defensive systems that seemed alive. Fleet Admiral Kexisha stared at the tactical display in disbelief. His sensors were detecting over 1 million separate weapon signatures. Not ships, but individual weapons. New Eden hadn't just built a colony. They had turned an entire solar system into a single massive fortress. "Begin the attack," he ordered because there was no choice now. They had committed too much to retreat. The Battle of New Eden began with the largest bombardment in galactic history. 10,000 alien ships fired everything they had at the human defenses. Energy beams that could crack planets lanced across space. Nuclear missiles by the millions streaked toward their targets. The assault was so intense that it lit up space like a new sun. The human response was swift and devastating. Gravitational mines appeared throughout the alien formation, creating crushing force fields that turned the largest dreadnoughts into compressed metal spheres. Quantum disruption fields made entire sections of the alien fleet simply cease to exist. And from hidden locations throughout the system, New Eden ships emerged to attack the aliens from every direction. Commander Gary Brooks led the counterattack from the destroyer pack, New Dawn. His ship was equipped with the latest gravitational manipulation systems, allowing it to move through space in ways that broke every law of physics the aliens understood. "All ships, execute Pattern 7, Gary ordered. "Let's show them what real space combat looks like." The New Eden fleet moved like a school of fish, each ship in perfect coordination with the others. They appeared and disappeared at will, struck with weapons the aliens couldn't defend against, and vanished before return fire could reach them. The battle lasted 3 days and nights. When it ended, the space around New Eden was filled with the wreckage of alien ships. Over 6,000 vessels had been destroyed. The survivors, barely a quarter of the original force, fled in complete disorder. Fleet Admiral Kexisha found himself commanding a broken fleet running for their lives. His flagship was heavily damaged, his crew was in shock, and his military career was over. But worse than any of that was the message he had to send back to the galactic governments. "This is Admiral Kexisha to Galactic Command," he broadcast, on emergency frequencies. The human colony has been found and engaged. We have suffered catastrophic losses. The enemy possesses technology and defensive capabilities beyond our ability to counter. Recommend immediate diplomatic contact rather than further military action. The message was received in stunned silence throughout the galaxy. The largest military force in recorded history had been shattered by a single human colony. And worse, intelligence reports suggested that New Eden was just one of several hidden human settlements. As news of the defeat spread, one fact became clear to every alien government. Humanity was no longer the weak species that could be ignored or pushed around. They had become the most powerful force in the galaxy, and they were just getting started. 6 months after the Battle of New Eden, the galaxy was a completely different place. President Andrew Clark stood before the reformed Galactic Council, but he was no longer a representative of a minor human colony. He was the leader of the most powerful military force in known space. The Great Council Chamber had been redesigned. Where once alien species had dominated the central seats, now there was a new section marked with the symbol of New Eden. Every alien representative in the room looked at Clark with a mixture of fear and respect that would have been unthinkable a year earlier. Members of the Council, Clark began, his voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. We gather today to discuss the new reality of galactic politics. Humanity is no longer content to beg for scraps at the edge of civilized space. We take our place as equals among the stars. Emperor Thulvok of the Drakmarian Empire shifted uncomfortably in his seat. His empire had ruled the galaxy for 2,000 years, but the humans had shattered his greatest fleet in 3 days. Now he was forced to negotiate with beings he had once considered primitive. Admiral Jake Morrison found himself working closely with Captain Ryan Brooks to merge Federation and New Eden technologies. The meeting took place aboard a new class of ship that combined the best of both human civilizations. The result was vessels that made even New Eden's previous ships look outdated. The gravitational drive systems are incredible, Jake said as he toured the engine room. We can cross the galaxy in weeks instead of months, and the defensive systems make these ships nearly indestructible. Ryan nodded. This is just the beginning. When our full fleet is equipped with merged technology, we'll be able to claim any system we want. The aliens won't be able to stop us. The economic changes were just as dramatic as the military ones. Ambassador Helen Carter was negotiating trade deals that positioned humanity as the galaxy's primary source of advanced technology. Species that had once refused to deal with humans were now desperate for access to New Eden's innovations. Centauri want exclusive rights to our medical technology, Helen reported to President Clark. They're offering mineral rights to 12 star systems in exchange. And the Andorians want our faster-than-light communication systems, added Trade Minister Bob Stevens. They're willing to give us 3 entire sectors of space for the technology. Clark smiled. After centuries of being treated as second-class citizens, humans were finally getting the respect they deserved. But this was about more than just respect. This was about reshaping the galaxy according to human needs. Dr. Patricia Wells was carefully sharing selected technologies with alien scientists. She was smart enough to know that cooperation was better than conquest, but she was also careful not to give away New Eden's most important secrets. The gravitational manipulation principles we're sharing will revolutionize their transportation systems, she explained to Clark. But we're keeping the military applications to ourselves. They get enough to be helpful allies, but not enough to be dangerous enemies. The sharing of technology created new trade networks that spanned the galaxy. Human ships equipped with drives that could bend space itself became the preferred method for moving cargo between distant stars. What had once taken months now took days. Captain Tony Martinez commanded one of the new merchant vessels. His ship, the New Frontier, could carry more cargo faster and safer than any alien vessel. As he docked at the Rigel trading station, he was met by a crowd of alien merchants eager to book passage. Captain Martinez called out a Zephyrian trader. When can you take a cargo load to the Vega colonies? My government is willing to pay premium rates for fast delivery. Tony smiled. A year ago, Zephyrians had been shooting at human ships. Now they were paying premium prices for human services. Times had certainly changed. The military expansion was even more impressive than the economic growth. Colonel Susan Davis led the colonization forces that were claiming new worlds for humanity. With their advanced technology, humans could settle planets that other species found impossible to live on. The Kepler 186 system is perfect for our needs, Susan reported from the bridge of the colony ship New Hope. The planets were considered too hostile for alien settlement, but our atmospheric processors can make them habitable in months instead of decades. Within the first year of the new galactic order, humanity controlled over 200 star systems. Many of these were worlds that aliens had written off as worthless, but human technology could extract resources and create livable conditions anywhere. The psychological impact on other species was enormous. For millennia, they had believed that they understood the limits of what was possible. Humans had shattered those limits and kept pushing beyond them. General Marcus Thompson established the new Human Defense Force, combining Federation military units with New Eden technology and training. The result was an army that could defeat any alien force without breaking a sweat. Our new soldiers are equipped with personal shield generators and plasma weapons, Marcus explained to President Clark. Each individual trooper has more firepower than an alien tank, and our new ships can be anywhere in the galaxy within days. The speed of human expansion caught everyone by surprise. Alien governments that thought they had time to adjust to the new reality found human colonies appearing in their territory overnight. Systems that had been empty one day had human cities the next. Admiral Nicole Adams commanded the exploration fleet that was mapping the galaxy's unexplored regions. Her ships were finding resources and habitable worlds that previous surveys had missed. The galaxy was much larger than anyone had realized, and humans intended to claim their share of it. We've discovered 17 new systems this month alone, Nicole reported. Each one has resources that could support major colonies. At this rate, we'll double human territory every year. But the most important change was psychological. For the first time in galactic history, other species looked at humans and felt fear. The weak, primitive creatures that had begged for acceptance were gone. In their place was a civilization that could reshape reality itself. Captain Ashley Turner now commanded an entire squadron of stealth destroyers. Her ships patrolled human space, making sure that no alien government forgot the lessons of the last year. Unknown vessel, you are entering human territory without permission, Ashley broadcast to a Krellic scout ship that had strayed too close to a human colony. Turn back immediately or face the consequences. The alien ship turned around, without argument. A year ago, they would have laughed at human threats. Now they knew better. As the second year of the new galactic order began, one thing was clear to every species in the galaxy. Humanity had not just joined galactic civilization, they had taken control of it. President Clark addressed the galaxy on the first anniversary of the Battle of Vega. His message was broadcast to every world, every ship, and every space station in known space. 1 year ago, we announced ourselves to the galaxy by reclaiming what was rightfully ours, Clark said. Today, humanity controls hundreds of worlds and protects thousands of colonies. We have become the force for progress and stability that this galaxy desperately needed. He paused, looking directly into the camera. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast, and there are still regions where conflict and chaos rule. Humanity will bring order to those places. We will spread human values of innovation, determination, and strength to every corner of space. The message ended with a promise that sent shivers through every alien government. The age of human expansion has begun, and nothing in the galaxy is powerful enough to stop us. The hidden colony had done more than survive 3 centuries of isolation. They had evolved humanity into something the galaxy had never seen before. And this was just the beginning of what humans could accomplish when they stopped asking for permission and started taking what they needed to thrive among the stars.